Welcome back to another episode of the Kaleidoscope Maker, and hopefully I'll be continuing to make more of them here more frequently, but doing the best I can. In the past I've made kaleidoscope using, well, most kaleidoscope makers make kaleidoscopes using flat mirror, and the reason why is because that's what first surface mirror is. So this one's a little dirty. First surface mirror is flat mirror. It's glass and it's usually perfectly flat and it's got a perfectly shiny surface. I haven't been taking very good care of this one. It's messy and spotty. I'll have to clean it. It's even got a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see it right there where it's lost a little bit of its mirror backing. But anyhow, but somebody asked me how do I make a mirror that's curved? Well, you can make it out of glass, and you can have curved mirror done and other stuff like that, but I'm going to show you an easier way. It's not the best mirror, but it will show you a curved surface, and I'll show you some things you can do with it, so stay tuned. Well, I want to introduce you to a piece of plastic called Mylar. And no, this is not the best Mylar available. It does have a little bit of a texture to it, but in the case of a circular kaleidoscope or curved kaleidoscope, it sometimes doesn't make a difference, and sometimes it does. Now this is kind of thin, but you can get some that's thicker, and I obtained this from a printing company, and some of it is fantastic. I actually have a thicker sheet, but I can't find it, which makes me very upset, because the thicker sheet actually has a much better reflective surface. It is actually almost mirror-like, as opposed to this that seems to have some little waves and ripples in it. But anyhow, the concept is you get your material, and I guess I got something on there. Looks like glue. And you turn it into the mirror system you want. Well, right now I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to put it inside of the trophy column here. And I'm going to start off with the simplest way of doing it, and that's to just simply roll it. And I'm going to have a little bit of a problem with it because it's just the way life is for me right now. And I do need to cut it. So what I'll do is assume I'll use about that much of it and cut it off. And I seem to be missing almost everything underneath the sun. I'm highly disorganized right now, and I apologize for that, but I don't have a lot of time available or resources to do a better job of getting organized. I've been trying to, but not working out. And my straight edge, and I'll cut some off. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Okay, so in this case, what I want to do is I want to take the mirror, and I want to make sure that, see, there's a less shiny side and a very shiny side. I want the very shiny side to be inside in this case, because I'm going to be placing it inside this tube. So I'm going to roll it up, and I'm going to stick it in the tube. And actually, I kind of made that a little small, but that's alright. And best thing actually would be to roll it on the outside. I did make it small. But anyhow, that way you get your tube and you just tape the ends together, and that's one way to make it. Now another way to make it is actually to rotate your tube material to where it touches itself, so you can make what's called a spiral. And that looks pretty good. Actually, I need to have a tube smaller if I'm going to do it this way. But I should be able to go ahead and spiral a little smaller one anyhow. And it's up to you if you're going to overlap or not. And I bet you I forgot to bring tape. Actually, I should have that great big roll of blue tape. Got some metal tape, which will work fine for this. Okay, so I'm going to do my spiral again, and it just basically to where you get it touching itself, kind of like that. But I do have to make it a little bit smaller. I'm just having all kinds of problems. I tear off the... Oh good, I didn't. Anyhow. I'm going to be fighting this the whole time. Anyhow, so I'll make some strips of tape here. Get it going the direction I want it to. Pull the tube out, make it a little smaller. I'm actually, I guess I'm showing you how to make this so incredibly tough you don't want to do it, but okay, there I got started. And again, it is best if you can do it around a circular object. You know how much you got overlap there. Okay, try to be consistent on your overlaps. and I messed it up, but you get the idea. Again, I recommend you get a tube that's smaller, and you wrap it around it. But the reason why I'm doing this, I want to show you the concept. I also want to show you how you deal with what I call some flaws or difficulties. When you do roll it this way and create your seam, it creates basically two different viewpoints. One of them, it looks like it's a solid mirror all the way through. The other one looks like it's got a seam. Now, partially why I messed up is I want to show you the fact that you can actually see a seam one direction and the other direction you can't. So, if you look through there, you can see that there, if I can get it right, there you go. There's a seam. Alright, you can actually see the seam because it's exaggerated. Now, let me show you this technique. You do it to where the overlap is on top and going down. Now we have it, and as you can see, the seam is still there, but it's much less visible. If you do this right, you won't even see it. And I guess I got some noise help up there. So see, this is much better right there than what I had before, you know, where the seam was very visible. This is a much less visible seam. Okay, so there's your internal round kaleidoscope, and what I'm going to do is try to find an object, get it rolled correctly, and show you what it looks like by putting objects and cutting it. So I'll be back. Okay, so I've made that by wrapping around another tube that I had. It's a little smaller, so it'll fit in there nicely. And again, I want to show you the possibility of a seam. Alright, this one has the seam, the edge of this stuff, if I can show you here. See, this edge is inside of this, while this edge is on the outside. You want basically to look down where the edge is on the outside. But anyhow, here we go. You can see the seam in there. See it? Alright, now we take it, and the seam has almost disappeared. So I want you to remember that when you do this, you want to have it to where the overlap is downward. So it overlaps from the top down, and that helps hide your seam. So now the next thing for me to do is to basically cut it and turn it into a kaleidoscope, which I've got more than enough here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the basics. I'm going to not do it perfectly, but give you an idea. It looks to me like if I cut right where the joint is, I'll be okay. And this is what I call the classic way of making a circular kaleidoscope. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simplify this for right now. You've seen the other videos on kaleidoscope making, but what I'm going to do is just basically tube, mirror, object chamber, and here we go. I'm having trouble seeing it, getting it in there. So there you go. This is the classic way of doing the kaleidoscope with a circular mirror. Now I'm going to show you a different way to do it. Again, I wish I had the higher quality mirror system. I mean, higher quality Mylar. But again, this will show you the concept, and I'll be right back. Okay. Now the next way to do it is to basically find any kind of round object you want, preferably of the size that you want it. Like I could use trophy column. Sorry, I had to adjust that so I could see. Or empty squeeze bottle, PVC pipe, cardboard tubes that are heavy duty. Yeah. And what I was using for model rockets, which I do model rocket videos too on here. So please stop by and visit those. Metal ones. At one point in time, and you can do this as well, I took a aluminum tube and I polished it so that it was basically the third mirror, or the mirror, and I used that. But let me show you the general idea. Again, you could do the coil method like we did before, or the single wrap method, doesn't matter. About right there. And again, I wish I had that really good Mylar. I mean, they've got some Mylar out there that is absolutely almost as good as regular first surface mirror. As a matter of fact, I actually have some heavy duty plastic first surface mirror, and I will be right back with that. Okay, this is actually some Mylar mirror, and it's first surface. This is the interior side, the non-first surface, and this was the first surface side, and it's covered with some protective coating like most was. Now I ended up letting this go too long before using it, but it really wasn't that great when you first started. So anyhow, you take your protective coating off, and again, like I said, I let this go too long. Matter of fact, you see it's actually pulling up the surface, but this surface wasn't that good to begin with, and this was an example of some that I got. But there is first surface mirror, and the big problem with this that I didn't like was the discoloration that happened, and again the material, I just let it sit in the corner and rot away. Probably should have used it up. But the real problem with it was that, as you can see through it. I don't know if you can see me or not. But anyhow, it just didn't do a good job. But they have some thicker like this that is good quality. And what I'm going to do, I was going to show you how to stick it onto the tube. Now, depending on how much of it you want to use and how you want to deal with it, you could just glue it right onto the tube, whatever it is you have, permanently, and then cut up the tube. For example, I would use PVC. I would go ahead and coat the PVC, glue this right onto it, and then cut it up, and it would hold the dimension that I want, but you don't have to. For right now, I'm just going to show you what this looks like, and I'm going to make it the dimension of my mirror so I can show you what it looks like if you use it as the third side, or actually you can make all three sides out of the curved mirror. Or if you do four mirrors, four sides, you can cup your tube and use it how you want. Again, I highly recommend finding some good quality Mylar. It's really good, but once you put it on a decent surface, it works really well. But I only need it only as, yeah, basically as long as this thing is. So mark it about right here. And I like to apologize a lot. I'm real sorry I don't have the good stuff. I mean, it makes a huge difference. But I do want to show you what it looks like. So here I'm going to tape it. Excuse me. Okay, so now we've got our first surface cylinder, and again, you can make as many of these different diameters you want, whatever. You can again adhere it on there permanently and cut the tube. That works fine. But here's an example. If I can find another one of these first surface mirrors, and boy did I not take good care of this. Really did mess that up by getting something on it. I really shouldn't be using my shirt either, but I wanted to see if it'd come off. Boy, my again, I did not take good care of these either. Waste not, want, but I need to order some more mirror. And that's an excuse just caused me to do that. So what I can do now is I can tape again with first surface side in. As you see, I've got them marked on the back like I told you before I do. And then I'll place it on here and let you look at it with the object chamber. Once I get my mirror set the way I want. About right there. Now again, it's not going to be perfect because I'd spend a lot of time getting this just right, but I'm not spending that kind of time because I just want to show you the concept, the idea. Close enough. Alright, now again, this will be our object chamber here. Gotta tip that so I can see. Look down the mirror. And there you go. That's a kaleidoscope with the third side being a curved surface. Now, no, it doesn't look like it does very much in this case, which it doesn't. That's because this thing's so close to being flat. But that's part of the secret here. If I had bigger mirrors, it'd cause it more, or if you widen these things out. Again, the more of the surface that you get in there, there it goes. the more it curves. Again, you can cut this however you want, do this however you want. Actually, could make the kaleidoscope fit right here and just look at the one section. Like I said, you can just have this all part of the kaleidoscope and just look right down here through this section. Again, the bigger the mirrors are, the more curve you have to the mirrors, the more an effect of curved side you have. In other words, if my mirrors, actually, if I took the third side of mirrors that are about this big, made it curved, you know, you would definitely see that it was curved. In other words, you make more of the curve presented inside the scope. This is almost to the point where when you use these things, it's almost flat. So anyhow, that's the basic concept of using a curved first surface mirror. The easiest way is find some decent Mylar. This is okay, as you saw. It's not great, and like I said, I got that from a printing company. Let's see, what else do I want to say? Again, the mirrors, depending on how you have them, fits. Again, you can also just adhere this to the tube of whatever material you have. If it's thick cardboard, that's great. If it's PVC, it's fine. You got to find the right adhesive. Then you can cut it, and those mirrors would stay that dimension. And yeah, you can have one side curved. You can have two sides curved. All sides curved, 3 sides curved, or 4 if you want to go for 4 to make an interesting shape. You can also cut them at an angle, because actually when you have a mirror, it actually spreads out. A curved mirror spreads out the image, so it looks like it fans out, or you'll know when you do it. So if you actually cut it at an angle to where they're coming in at a more of an angle, basically like this, but these sides are the curved sides in, and you make it smaller top and larger bottom. It helps reduce the expanding of the area. Again, it's an experimentation that you'll need to do if you plan to use it. So there you go. There's another introduction to curved kaleidoscope mirrors. I use Mylar. There's some real decent Mylar out there that you can get. This is just some free stuff that a printing company nearby, I'll just give you the name, R&R Donnelly over in Mattoon. They are about 15 miles away from us. This is some of their scrap that one of their employees knew me, gave it to me, said, here, have some fun, make some kaleidoscopes out of this, and I have. And it's a very interesting and pretty object, something different. So there you go. That's one way to do it. Another way is, again, have somebody make you a first surface mirror out of curved glass if you want to try to have it done. I'd like to find a company that actually would make curved first surface mirror, both with the concave side first surface and the convex side first surface. And for those who know curves, you'll know what concave and convex are. And make it out of glass, I mean, because you can buy bottles, they're glass. Why not have them smooth enough that, well, as you can see, this is not smooth enough, but have them smooth enough to where you can make them first surface. So, and in the meantime, excuse me, bad allergies. Anyhow, in the meantime, enjoy. That's the concept of curved mirrors and curved first surface mirrors. In my case, I typically just go inexpensively with Mylar, but I buy decent Mylar or get decent Mylar. You can try to buy some plastic first surface mirror. Good luck. This just wasn't up to the quality I needed. Even as a mirror, it wasn't even that good. And if you find a company that is there, or you own a company or work for a company that does curved mirror, let me know, especially if you do first surface curved mirror, or if you are a Mylar company and you have a really decent product, let me know, and I'll try to share that with everybody out there. If you have something involved with kaleidoscopes that you think is something everybody needs to know about, get a hold of me. Really, get a hold of me, because I'd like to share that information. I'd like to help people out, but that's it. If you want to help me or not, it's up to you. But there you go. And I've got many other projects in mind, and hopefully we'll be able to go to them. Again, any financial support you can give me would be greatly appreciated, because other than Mylar, I'm basically out of first surface mirror, and I'll have to order some sometime. And I just, even though I have a decent job, it's not a high paying job, and I'm trying to keep things going, breaking even here and stuff like that. So if you can help me out, it'd be greatly appreciated. I have capabilities for you to, there should be an I button over here where you can click on it and give me money or send me money or help support this through a fan funding or through Patreon or whatever. Or if you have something that you want to send to me to have me show or display or whatever that I can use, I'd appreciate it. Again, there you go. Three things I want to remind you about. Again, this is the 200th anniversary. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be right back. This is the 200th anniversary of Brewster's patent for the kaleidoscope, and I just want you to remember that. So really, it should be kind of a celebration for the kaleidoscope, or at least last year should have been, or whatever you want. And number two, like I keep reminding everybody, please be kind to people who seem weird or odd or whatever, because they might actually have a hidden disability, and even some normal people might just be strange once in a while, and it might be a hidden disability. And there's some people who walk around and are in extreme pain and agony, or process things differently, or might be a highly functioning autism person, or might have autism, might yell and scream, might have Tourette's where they say things they don't mean to. We need to learn how to be kind to one another. Again, I generally never try to be nasty to anybody till all of a sudden I find out they're being nasty to me. And sometimes they're nasty to me and I don't find out immediately, and I find out later. But please be kind to one another. I mean, this world's a small little world, and if we can get along and treat each other respectfully and decently and not try to sabotage each other or knock somebody down or whatever, it'd really be helpful. The other thing I want to remind you is, like I always say, go make a kaleidoscope. If nothing else, go watch somebody make a kaleidoscope, or at least pick one up. It's the year of the kaleidoscope, in my opinion, 200th anniversary. So please come back. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you'll enjoy more videos as I make them, and please send me your ideas and suggestions. Thank you. God bless.